size of the motor. This is a DC motor 130. That is the size. With this pink pan blade as a load. So we have now the load for the DC motor. We are using power bank 5 volts with USB DIY. Let us get the wire, female jumper wire for this, and then the other side. So the fan works at 5 volts. Supply for the fan. We have now the new circuit. So we are using the push button as the controller. And we're going to use again the 5 volts supply. So we now control the motor using the push button with the use of 5 volts. We are using the button control to control the DC motor. So we're using the power bank. When we switch on, pressing the button, current flows into the switch, then to the motor, which in turn it moves the motor. So here we are using the switch or the button as a control to the motor. We have now the new circuit. We're using this motor with fan blade, push button, and transistor. So we have the transistor, resistor, and of course the supply 5 volts. Volt supply. When we press the button, it will turn on the fan. Okay? So we have the transistor that will serve as a driver and at the same time as a switch by pressing this button. So we can able to run now this mini fan by pressing the button using transistor. This time we're using transistor S8550 PNP. The pin out is emitter base collector. So this is the front and that is the pin out. Collector base emitter or emitter base collector from left to right. This is now the transistor with base resistor, biasing resistor, pull up resistor, switch, and then the motor or the DC motor, fan. Okay, emitter base collector. So this is PNP. What is the flow of current, electric current, electron flow from emitter to base. Emitter to base, it will switch on this transistor. So that if this emitter to base will forward bias, switching this transistor on, the current now flow from emitter to collector, then to the motor to the ground, turning this motor. Okay, it will turns on this motor. So initially, we have this circuit, 5-volt supply, 1K, the switch to the ground, but this is open. So the current flows here to the base, making this transistor to turn off because this is reverse bias. So remember that to turn on this PNP, we need the current that flows from emitter to base, just like this one. But the current here, it flows from base to emitter, so it will turn off this transistor. So there will be no current that flows into the motor, and the motor is off. Once we press the switch, there's now a recontact to the ground. Current now flows from emitter to the base. So switching this transistor on, then to the biasing transistor, then to the ground. Also from resistor 1 to the ground. They are all flow towards the ground. And because this is transistor switch on, we switching this transistor on, now the current flows from emitter to collector. So this is actually a closed switch now. So the current flows from emitter to collector, and then to the positive, negative of the motor. It will turns on the motor once we press the switch, because there is the transistor now is switching on, causing this output side of the transistor to turn on. If this is on, this output side will turn on, causing the motor to turn on and to move the motor. And then if we release the switch, go back to its original position, now the current now flows into the base, so causing this transistor now to turn off because it is now reverse bias. Remember that this is a diode type. This is the diode type, this transistor. So it will reverse bias this base, so transistor turns off. It will turns off the motor. When we press it again, it will turns on the motor. Release off. Press on. On off, on off, on off. So we can control the motor using the transistor as a driver. Why we need this transistor? Because the motor consumes a lot of current. So we need a transistor to handle that current. This motor consumes a lot of current. Again, we have a new circuit. So instead of using a switch, we're using now the sensor, IR, infrared sensor, as a controller to the DC motor. Also the same way they using transistor as a driver. Let us use this 5 volts supply. Okay. When there is an obstruction, it will turn on. Or when we getting close to the sensor, because this is a proximity sensor. So every time there is an obstacle or any barrier, it turns on the pan. Also there is a LED on board that turns on. So every time we have this, it detects my hand, it will turn on the fan. Okay. Using the infrared sensor transistor as a driver and 5 volts with our low DC motor. Now we have the new circuit, DC motor, IR sensor control. So this is the infrared proximity sensor. The black is the receiver, the transmitter is the white. Then we have this potentiometer to adjust the range of detection. If you want a long distance, you can set this range potentiometer. We have the VCC connected 5 volts out, connected to the 1K, and then to the transistor ground, and then transistor. This is our fan or the DC motor connected to the ground, and then emitter is connected to the 5 volts. So this is this. Okay, we can discuss this, or we can explain this by using this transistor switch, because initially here the current flows from 1K to the base, causing this transistor to turn off, just like this one. Since there is no obstacle, current flows here VCC to the inside the IR sensor and then out. So initially it is high. There's a current that flows here, causing this transistor to turn off, just like this one. Okay, once it detects the operation of this is the transmitter is continuously emitting a light, and then when it detects a hand or any barrier hand, it would deflect back to the receiver, and then received by this IR sensor, and then it pulls down to the ground, just like this one. A switch, turning on the switch, causing the current to flow from emitter to base resistor, and then to the switch to the ground. So just like this one, causing the current to turn on this transistor, emitter to base, and then to the base resistor, then to the ground, pulling it down to the ground, just like this one. Okay, and then because it turns on the transistor, now the current flows into the emitter to collector, which in turn this makes the motor to turn on, or this fan to turn on. So it will turn on the motor once the transistor switch on, just like this one. This is a switch pulling to the ground, just like this one. When it detects an obstacle, it pulls down to the ground. So the current flows here to the base resistor, then to the ground, causing to turn on this onboard LED. This is an input LED or monitoring LED. Input LED. Okay, and this one power LED. Power. So it is usually turns on all the time once we powering the circuit. Power LED, and it only turns on this input LED once it pulls down to the ground, or it detects an obstacle, or simply our hands. It detects any obstacle or the destruction or anything that can obstruct the deflection of this wave, transmission of the wave, the receiving the wave. So it turns on the motor once the obstacle if we remove the obstacle, it will now turn off again the motor, just like this one. It will just like a switch, we release the switch, this one, or the current now flows again to the base from the 5 volts, just like this one, 5 volts. So that is the operation of the infrared sensor. This is proximity sensor. You can see there's a pin here, a VCC, ground out, that is the actual pin out. This one is just a circuit diagram. Okay? So this is the main driver module, and this is the main driver module attached to the power bank. Also this sensor connected to driver transistor, and then the power, and then the pan. Their glue gun stick, using glue gun stick. So when I encounter any obstacle in front, it will automatically on the pan or in your face. Also with this is the main sensor. So when I Getting closer to the sensor, it will turns on the fan automatic. The sensor connected to the transistor driver, then driver to the supply, and then to the motor. Just like this sensor, transistor driver, motor, and then the supply 5 volts. So this is the out, this one out, and then the power supply, the out.